Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Håkan Olsén, and I'm working at the Ericsson Group Function Technology, and I'm based in Vietnam, being responsible for standards and industry for Asia Pacific. I'm accompanied in this session at the showcase by my two colleagues, Ms. Mai Lan Bui. She is Customer Market Manager for Vietnam and Myanmar. And also Mr. Raymond Chow, he is head of 5G industry collaboration for Asia, with a focus on China. You are all most welcome to the Ericsson showcase, Industry Transformation Powered by 5G. We will try to give you an understanding of what we in Ericsson see is happening now and the future for the industry, by providing you with a market update presentation that is based on the Ericsson Mobility Report. The report that we issue every once a year, and an update in later in the year, mid-year. Then a more detailed technical presentation on how 5G can be used in industrial environments with some examples. In this showcase, we will thus give you two presentations and also three very short video clips. And then we hope we will have time enough for a question and answer session at the end. We are living in these days in dramatic times. I am now locked in a lockdown situation due to the pandemic in my house just outside the central city of Da Nang in Vietnam. So the office nowadays is me and my laptop under this outdoor bamboo roof you can see here. At the same time, there is a very rapid rollout of 5G networks across the world, with an increased interest by many industry sectors to utilize the capabilities of 5G. With this follows also the diverse spectrum needs for different applications and usage of 5G in the industry. The extremes on one side being massive machine type communications using narrowband IoT with thousands of devices using maybe only a 200 kilohertz carrier, to the other extreme, ultra reliable low latency machine type communications that could require gigahertz of spectrum. It is thus important that this can be provided to ensure that the industry transformation can take place. With this, I suggest that we start with the first video clip. This is 5G as an appetizer, showing the impact we see in society as a whole of 5G. And after this, Ms. Lan Bui will start her presentation on the market update and IoT specifics. Thank you.
2G, 3G, 4G. They've all revolutionized the way we live our lives. And Ericsson has been leading the way. So when it comes to 5G, it's easy to think it's just another G. Well, it's not. With 5G, things will be faster, and we mean a lot faster. With global mobile data traffic doubling every 18 months, the world's demand for high-speed connectivity increases every second. And that's where 5G comes in, by efficiently providing the capacity for massive data growth. So what does this mean for you? It means high-speed connections for everyone always. Fast and uninterrupted sharing, streaming, and browsing, so that you'll never have to fight for data, no matter the competition. But it's not only about speed. 5G will reduce latency to a minimum, making delays virtually impossible to perceive. It means elevating reality even further. It means fiber speeds without fiber at home, for everyone everywhere. And with network slicing technology, every connected service can get its own unique part of a 5G network, fully dedicated and guaranteed for each specific purpose. It means the Internet of Things on an industrial scale, making society more sustainable, increasing resource efficiency, connecting vehicles, to get there both faster and safer. It means protecting the most vulnerable road users, detecting accidents before they happen, and helping save lives with dedicated networks for critical services. With Ericsson's leading 5G technology paving the way, the full potential of connectivity is becoming reality. Join us. Let's explore 5G.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Ericsson Showcase about industry transformations powered by 5G. My name is Lan Bui. I'm the Customer Marketing Manager for Ericsson's Vietnam and Myanmar, and it is my honor to be here today to walk you through the 5G market updates and industry potential. In these sections, I will touch on the insights about what we've observed for the first year of 5G commercial launch to the markets. This will include numbers of commercial networks, number of 5G subscriptions at this moment, and then followed by the forecast of mobile subscriptions and data traffic toward 2025. In these presentations, I will also update the 5G business potentials, where I will show the market opportunity globally in 2030 that brought by 5G through addressing industry digitalization and what does it mean for our region, APEC, especially in smart manufacturing. Can you turn to the next page, please? Yes, now let's look at the first year of 5G in numbers. A new generation of mobile technologies has really surpassed all the expectations in terms of the rapid commercially rollouts across the world. We have now 91 live commercial 5G networks launched across 40 countries as of July 2020. This now represents well above 10% of mobile operators globally. It is not quite a critical mass, however, it is certainly very rapid and accelerated early adoption. At the end of 2019, there was 13 million 5G subscriptions, and at this time, we estimated that it would grow to 100 million by the end of this year. However, in the latest Ericsson Mobility Report, which was released in June recently, we now forecast 5G subscriptions to grow to 190 million globally by the end of this year, which means that 90% higher than what we forecasted in November 2019. One of the drivers are the significant growth in China and South Korea. In China, the number of 5G subscribers were 50 million by end of March 2020, while in South Korea, this number has gone well beyond 5 million as end of June 2020. And in just about 12 months since launch, 25% of total mobile data traffic now is carried on in 5G networks in this country. The growth is also observed on the mobile data users. 5G subscribers are now using in the order of 2.5 times data compared to 4G users. That is based on the recent data published by the South Korea Ministries of Science and Technology. Next page, please. Despite of the uncertainty caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, service providers continue to switch on 5G. And by 2025, it is forecasted that the number of 5G subscriptions will reach 2.8 billion, which represent approximately 31% of total mobile subscription at that time. And LTE will remain the dominant mobile asset technology by subscription during this period. It is projected that it will get peak at in 2020 at 5.1 billion subscriptions and decline to around 4.4 billion subscription by end of 2025 as more subscribers migrate to 5G. Take a look at the global mobile data traffic on the right hand side. We expect that the the data traffic will grow by roughly a factor of 5 by end of 2025 relative to where we are today. Despite that, the 5G mobile subscription account for only 31% of total mobile subscriptions in 2025. The mobile data traffic by 5G will account for 47% of total mobile traffic in 2025. Next page, please. To have more info about the subscriptions by the regions, let's look at the graph about mobile subscription by regions and technology. We are living in Southeast Asia and Oceania region, and you can see that the dominant technology at this moment is still 3G. By 2025, however, 4G will account for 63% of mobile subscriptions and become the most dominant technology. 5G subscriptions are expected to reach 21% in 2025 in this region. If you compare this with Northeast Asia, where China, Japan, and Korea are in, you can see the huge difference in terms of 4G subscriptions at this moment. And it is explains why 5G in Northeast Asia is actually uptake much faster than other regions. LTE subscription penetration is currently at 88% in Northeast Asia, the second highest in the world, and start to migrate to 5G. 5G subscriptions will reach 60% to become the most dominant technology in 2025 in Northeast Asia. Next page, please. It is clear that 5G networks are going live and growing with increasing momentum all over the world, and this is being matched by a strong demand and demand from consumer and industry for 5G. So let's look at what this means in relation to our long-term projections for 5G. Firstly, we are forecasting that 5G subscriptions will reach 2.8 billion in 2025, representing an increase of 200 million subscriptions when compared with the same forecast 7 months ago. Also, by 2025, 47% of mobile traffic will be carried over the 5G networks, and up to 65% of the world population will be covered by 5G networks. Fixed wireless access, an important and increasing relevance top-line 5G use case, is forecasted to account for 25% of total mobile network traffic. Global IoT cellular connections are now expected to top 5 billion by 2025 as a result of 5G-driven industry digitalizations and driven by the continued trend towards lower IoT device, bringing stronger and more compelling ROI to a significant broader array of industry use cases. I will touch more about the IoT forecast in the next slides. And also, according to the GSMA report published in 2019, 5G is expected to contribute to 2.2 trillion USD to the global economy over the next 15 years. Next page, please. With 5G in the market, almost every industry is exploring the potential of cellular connectivity for fundamentally transforming businesses. The connectivity needs for all industries can be addressed by the 4 IoT segments, which are massive IoT, broadband IoT, critical IoT, and industrial automation IoT. Among these, massive IoT, broadband IoT, and critical IoT are part of the cellular IoT. These 4 IoT segments can efficiently coexist in one 5G network. Massive IoT technologies like IoT, narrowband IoT, and Cat-M1 continue to be rolled out around the world, but at a slightly slower pace in 2020 than previously due to the impact of the COVID-19. At the end of 2025, narrowband IoT and Cat-M1 are projected to account for 52% of all cellular IoT connections. Broadband IoT with 4G connecting is the majority, is expected to account for 34% of serial IoT connections in 2025. The deployment of the first modules supporting critical IoT use case is expected in 2021. Cellular IoT connections are going to reach 5.2 billion by 2025. Next page, please. With 5G and IoT-driven industry digitalizations, there are some real opportunities across multiple industries. Based on the global research that Ericsson has conducted over the last 2 years across 10 vertical industries, we see an opportunity of all players within the ecosystem to address up to 700 billion USD in the years of 2030. Among all, the two sectors that have significant growth is healthcare and manufacturing. Next page, please. Talking about manufacturing, APEC regions where we are in has huge advantage as more manufacturing sites are located here than any other part of the world. It is expected that 67 of all manufacturing sites will be in APEC in 2030. In factories, today fixed connections are not optimal to meet factory extensions as they rely on fixed locations and require expensive cable installation to upgrade. An alternative solution for fixed connections is cellular technology. Cellular networks enable mobility, reliability, security, and high device densities, which can yield significant operation cost savings for an upgraded smart factory. Wireless connections will grow exponentially over the next few years to meet the demand for smart manufacturing growth. According to ABI study, over 4.7 billion device connections will be deployed across smart manufacturing factory floors to enable over 1 trillion USD in production value by 2030. As many companies are realizing the benefits of adopting wireless and with the availability of 5G, the mass adoption is expected to take place from 2023. Hence, it is time to develop the dry connectivity strategy to unlock this value now. To continue, let's watch a short video about the collaborations within Ericsson and Audi in factory automations using 5G, and then my colleague Raymond Chiao will walk you through how 5G can support industry digital transformations.
The benefits of factory automation with 5G is the gain of flexibility and mobility of the production equipment, such as robots adapted on AGVs. URLC is the basic for guaranteed data transmission and therefore the first requirement for personal safety applications.
5G URLC stands for 5G ultra-reliable low-latency communication. So the signal will never use more than 3 milliseconds, for instance. And that is actually the communication characteristics that are needed for certain applications, and Profinet is one of those.
Our goal with this URLC project was to showcase that we can run our regular automation in the factory with the wireless communication. And we needed determinism, which up to now Wi-Fi standards cannot provide.
But we are showing an example here that to transport safety protocols, the underlying mechanisms need to be very stable and reliable. And that is what 5G URLC brings. The demo shows a robot cell that is connected via 5G. And then we have a laser curtain that protects one side of the cell so that if someone reaches into the robot cell, and the robot stops so that no one can get hurt. And the laser curtain uses ProfiSelf as a protocol to secure functional safety of an application.
In factory automation, having to synchronize all the machines, the robot equipments together with the PLCs we need deterministic, low latency communication. And up to now, this was only doable through wired networks. But if we want to be more flexible in the future, we need to omit those cables and we need to come to a wireless communication. This is something that in the end will then benefit the entire world that is working in production, because they will be able to use a 5G network to drive their operations.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Raymond Qiao. I work in Ericsson China, and I'm working in a organization called 5G for Industries. So my organization is responsible to explore how 5G can really support the industrial transformations with the technical advantages by 5G technology. So the video of Audi URLC just give you one example of how we can enable the flexibility in the production process of the car OEMs. Actually, beside Audi, we also have a collaboration with car OEMs like Daimler and BMW in the area of 5G. So in my presentation, I will show you what Ericsson is doing in the area of enabling industrial transformation using our 5G technologies. So next page, please. Thank you. And so actually, Ericsson is working in this area for quite a long time, for several years already. So we are working with the industrial leaders to explore how to use 5G technology to empower the different industries. So currently, we are focusing on multiple industries like automotive, manufacturing, energy, and also mining, and logistic like airports or seaports. So we are working with many industrial leaders like ABB and also Hexagon and also Daimler, as I mentioned. So by working with them, we can really understand their view and their requirements on 5G technology, and so that we can better define our products and technologies. And also with the inputs from the industries, we can better give our contribution to the standardization organizations. Besides working with those industrial partners, we are also working with the value chain of 5G. That means we are also working with the device vendors and also module vendors and also the chipset vendors of 5G together to bring kind of end-to-end 5G solution for the industries. Next page, please. And so this is an overview of how we think 5G can enable the industrial transformation. So we see there are two types of how 5G can enable this. The first type is on the right side, the blue part. So we see it's kind of IoT, Internet of Thing, or say industrial Internet of Thing, migrate to 5G based industrial Internet of Thing. Just give an example. For connected car, for the information and entertainment services in the car, in the connected car, many of the cars they are using 4G, and with 5G you can have better experiences and much stronger performance, so that you can bring more services into the car. So this is kind of a upgrading of the today's technology, and to give you better experiences and better services. And also, we can enable new services like remote service support to your customer with AR glasses, which is connected by 5G. And with that, you don't need to travel to your customer site, and you can remotely give your service support to them. to make it very convenient. So those we consider like a wide area usage of 5G connectivity for industrial applications. So another part of the scenario will be a local dedicated 5G network to enable the productions use cases. So on the left side, we described how 5G can transform the production process by decoupling the production cells, and also to enable more flexibilities in the factories, in the shop floor. So if we look at what 5G can enable, what kind of use cases can 5G support, normally we see those kind of applications. The first type is controlling. You can control a machine from a remote side using wireless connectivity, or you can run your automation system over 5G network. This is about control the machines. Another type of application is inspection and monitoring. You get data from the shop floor. You monitor your production line in real time, and also you get lots of data for video inspections. That's all relevant to a lot of data transmission and real time monitoring. Another part of the typical use cases is related to mobility. Like AGVs, there are lots of AGVs is being used in factory and also in warehouse, because it's always moving. So you need to connect those devices into a mobile network. So in those cases, we consider this as a local 5G network. So maybe we see lots of potential for a dedicated industrial network, so that we can enable those production related applications. So this is how we consider that 5G to how 5G can support the industrial transformations, especially in the manufacturing vertical. Next page, please. So we are not only providing 5G technology to our partners or our customers, we are using 5G in our own factory. So here we give an example of Ericsson factory in Tallinn. And in this factory, we implemented AGV connected by 5G, and also connected sensors by 5G, and also AR technology over 5G connectivity. And actually, beside Tallinn factory, we also have Ericsson own factory in China, in US. All of these three factories, we have 5G private industrial network deployed to make our production process more efficient and more flexible. Next page, please. So factory is one example. Another example is the ports. So if you look at the ports, a typical port, there is a very strong trend, which is to make the ports unmanned. We want to introduce lots of automation in the ports, and we want to have the remote control of the machines in the ports instead of having people working on site. So this is a very strong trend of the port industry. So we see lots of connectivity requirements in the ports. For example, people need to communicate with people, and the machines need to be controlled from remote site. And also the assets, the containers, video cameras, surveillance cameras, all of these devices need to be connected by a unified high performance network, which should be 5G technology. And there will be also innovative new applications like inspections using drones. So we for Ericsson, we are also doing lots of projects with ports around the world. Next page, please. Next page. Sorry for the animation. Yes, so this is on one of the example. This is what we did in China with the port of Qingdao, which is one of the largest container ports around the world, and they are implementing their automation strategy in their own port. But when they are trying to implement remote controlling of the huge cranes, they find it 5G is probably the best technology to make the cranes connected and to enable the remote operation. The reason behind is to operate the crane from a remote side, you need real time, you need very low latency because there are lots of control, and the control is based on industrial Ethernet. So latency is very important. And then to control the machine, you also need to have the real-time video. For example, on the crane, there are many cameras. In our case, there are around 30 cameras. So 30 cameras transmitting video in real time back to the control center. So with those requirements and also consider the flexibility of the deployment, you need a network like 5G to support. So this is very common requirements from the ports around the world. Next page. Another area, a very typical area of 5G application is mining. So for Ericsson, we have mining related projects in Australia, Canada, and also in Sweden. So why we are using 5G, our cellular network in mining is very kind of similar to the port case, because there are lots of machines underground, and the mine owners, they don't want to send people underground, and they want to have those machines controlled from a remote office instead of sending people into the underground environment, which is very dangerous. So we are using 5G technology to connect those machines, and we leverage the low latency features and high bandwidth of 5G so that people can see it from a remote office to control all the machines which is working underground. This is very typical use case. But beside the remote control of the machine, we can also enable a better connectivity or communication services in an underground area, and also the positioning features, positioning functions, which is very important in a mining environment. Next page, please. So this is an example of 5G enabled mining in Boliden. This is a mine in Sweden. So in this case, we work with our partners like Epiroc and also Volvo to implement the remote control, remote operation of the machines underground using Ericsson LTE, 4G and 5G network. Next page, please. And finally, I would like to introduce a white paper just recently published by Ericsson. This is about a 5G spectrum for local industrial networks. And in this white paper, we shared our opinion of the business potential behind the cellular solution for industries, and also the needs of the requirements of the industries, and also some analysis of how we can really enable CSPs to be successful in the industry areas. And if you have the interest, you can download the report, the white paper from Ericsson website using the link given in this page. And then we will show you another video related to 5G based automation, which is our collaboration between Ericsson and ABB. So please show the video.
We are a technology leader and we need to be able to shape the technology that we need, but also to get access to the latest technology. With a company like Ericsson, we can reform how it is done. Together we can shape the future of 5G for our customer.
We have industry customers, it's oil and gas, process industries, we have production, manufacturing, automotive, robots. It's a quite wide business for us. There is, in our domain, a need for a robust, reliable, but also low latency wireless solution. And 5G has a good potential to be one of the main technologies there. You cannot be expert in everything, so you need to connect with good partners. And this is what ABB doing with Ericsson. ABB needs to and has been part of the process to shape 5G, and we would like to continue to do that. The key things to be worked on next on 5G are the synchronization of time. We need that in our applications, both on the smart grid side, but also on production and manufacturing areas. The second topic there is to be able to integrate it with our systems. 5G will not be the only solution in our factories. It will be a mixture of networks and systems. And 5G needs to be integrated to our systems, both on the management side and on the data plane side. And here we're using a standard solution like TSN and OPC UA protocols. They need to play together well. It will enable our customers to come out with more fine-tuned automation systems, which are more efficient, and that will give them better products and to a lower cost. Every day is a new challenge, and it's really a positive challenge.
We need to take technology much faster into the application and faster to market to be able to survive in the future. Collaboration is the key of it.
Okay, thank you for the presentations, and I hope you enjoyed the short video clips. I see we have received a number of questions here. I think some of them are quite similar and probably directed to Raymond, and then a final one about the estimate of services. I think that's more related to Milan. But one comment, perhaps before we go into the questions. If you remember the slide that Milan showed on the from the mobility report, I think it was slide 4. We see the technology shift in the different parts of this region, and it's clear that there is much more 5G in the China, Japan, Korea, Northeast Asia than in Southeast Asia and in India. And just as a comment, this might impact the industry transformation in, yeah, exactly that one. This might impact the industry transformation in Southeast Asia with a lower pace as compared to Northeast Asia because of the lower shift in going towards 5G and more advanced implications on, for example, then critical MTC. We also saw that Asia has a huge advantage with having all the industries in this region, and that there is a need to start thinking about using 5G in a good way for before the mass adoption phase starts, and so that this region will not fall behind when it comes to this industry transformation. That's just one take of the important, I think, aspects from the presentations and the videos that we have been showing here. So if we go to the question, I think question 1 and 2 is quite similar, if I understood correctly, but I leave those to Raymond, I think, whether it will be multiple networks or Wi-Fi or combinations of them or single ones. Maybe Raymond, you are better to this.
Yes, no problem. Actually, this is very good question, also very common question. I should say it's not only Ericsson opinion. I see some technology strategy from other companies in the industries, they define their technology of connectivity for future. So according to what they mentioned, it seems in short term and also in long term, there will be multiple networks for different purposes. For example, for office, for connecting your PCs, it's totally fine to continue to use Wi-Fi in enterprise. But we see it's better to use 5G for the production related scenarios. So that will be a very clear separation between 5G and the Wi-Fi network. And also cable network will still be there because there are some requirements cannot be fulfilled by any kind of wireless connectivity technologies. That's the fact. So for some machines or some applications which require extreme low latency, you still need to have cable there. So that will be kind of mixed, but different technology will have different positioning in the enterprise. Wi-Fi for office and cable and together with 5G for production. And there's also a question about if there will be multiple 5G networks. So normally for enterprise, there will be two 5G networks. One is the public 5G network, so that you can still use your own mobile phone, 5G mobile phones, enjoy the public services. And at the same time, there will be a 5G industrial dedicated network in the same area. So this will be a very common situation we see from the projects we have together with the industry partners. Anything to add?
Oh.
Okay.
No, I think that's fine. We are running a bit out of time, I think, but I like also to, because we have questions here about the COVID-19 and also the sort of mix of services in 5G. It's asking about 10 years, but in the mobility report, we have actually responses to those questions with the latest one published. So maybe then I'll leave that to Mailan. The question 4 and 5 here on one on COVID-19 and the other one on mix of services.
Yeah, so as the questions about whether the COVID-19 will affect the 5G rollout, yes, it is. In fact, we do see that some of the European countries, the auction for spectrums has been delayed due to the impact of the pandemic, and we actually also lower down our forecast for the 5G subscriptions for 2020 and 2021. No, but in the long term, if we look toward 2025, the number will still be the same, which means that it will be catch up very fast when this is over. It will be only affected in the short term, but not for the long term.
Yeah, and the mix of services here, we have this from the mobility report with video being something like 75%, right? Or something like that. I don't remember exactly. Mailan.
Yes. So another question is about the IoT for whether it will be a mixture of IoT and any others. Actually, if you see the slide from the IoT connections forecast, you can see that cellular IoT actually is only for IoT cellular IoT connections in 2019 is 1.5 billion. while the total IoT connections is actually 10.7 billion. And in 2025, cellular IoT will reach to 5.2 billion, while the total IoT connection, which including others, will reach to 24.6 billion, which means that not only cellular IoT, but others IoT will also play a part.
I hope we responded to all the questions. Any other comments from you, Raymond, or Mailan? I think we have just a minute left or so. Okay.
Personally, I think the COVID-19 also let people recognize the importance of remote working. So probably that also brings some momentum to have 5G. By using 5G, you can have better experiences for remote working, remote production. So that's another effect we see.
Yes, I think that is clear as a part of the experience from the pandemic. I think we are at the end of our 45 minutes, and thank you for listening, and we hope that you have found it interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.